Call this meeting to order at 12:04. Here we'll start off with a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
visible,
liberty and justice for all.
justice for all.
Okay. Next is the roll call.
George Narvaez,
Present?
Omar Gonzalez Longoria,
Present.
Hector Cortez,
Present.
Arturo Tomás Benavides.
No, he's on
He's,
there.
I think he's number 2.
Okay.
Cristobal Rodriguez, Robert Judd Gilpin,
Present.
Jose D. Gonzalez,
Present.
and Carlos Valle Jr.
Present.
Hello, this is Tom. I'm kind of having a hard time hearing.
You want to put it on the,
Likewise here.
We'll try to put it on the telephone as well, if we can. I don't know if that's...
You gentlemen look good. I think the pandemic has treated you well.
Jeez, man.
Yes, here.
No, I'm not talking about weight loss.
I saw you looking
Generally,
that's where you went blind.
generally speaking.
I complained to the flight attendant yesterday. I told her, hey, the seatbelts are smaller. You know,
By now, we should all look like albinos, I mean, like a sun.
Just waiting for the connection to find out whether you guys can hear us better, and we'll go ahead and move forward.
And you're gonna need to mute the.
Welcome to WebEx. Enter your access code.
8463.
Attendee ID number.
Tom, can you hear us better?
Yeah, mute the, you muted?
Oh, I can hear way better now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect, we're good. Okay. With that being said, we did roll call, now we'll go with the minutes. Give you an opportunity to review the minutes real quick and approve the regularly scheduled meeting for the minutes for July 21st, 2021.
Excuse me, Chairman, did we have a quorum?
We did
Yes,
have
we
quorum.
have
We
quorum.
don't have to move forward with a vote on that anymore. That's just protocol now, so.
Yes, we have
Quorum
7.
quorum has been established.
7, good.
Got it.
So, review the last month's minutes. And then, while you guys are reviewing it, if anybody has any comments or would like to go ahead and make a motion to go ahead and approve the last month's minutes?
So moved.
Is that you, Judd?
That's me.
Okay,
A second.
George second, all right, great. We got a first and second. Any comments? Changes? All in motion and let the minutes pass, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? No opposition, let's move forward. Okay, next item is citizens' comments. The citizens required to fill out a witness card and submit it to the chairperson no later than 12:15 p.m. and identify yourself at the meeting before speaking in the corporation. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. So with that being said, just in the sake of time, we can just go ahead and move forward, and just if you have any comments, please submit them prior to this meeting, So I guess next item of order would be the staff reports.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. If you go back into your packets here, starting with the passenger report, and for the people on the call, do they have access to it? Right, Ashley?
I did send the agenda yesterday.
Okay. And so, you know, we're just here a couple of weeks ago, but if we're looking for June from 2019, and I know Omar had mentioned in the past, and it's a good point to compare ourselves more to 2018 and 2020. You can see we're roughly from in plane passengers down about 5% and down about 7% for D-plane passengers here at the airport. We're back to the pandemic level of flights per week, which is good. We're actually higher because we have Aeromar, but United and American and Allegiant are servicing the same routes that they serviced back in 2019, which is good news. And so we're seeing those numbers trend. Obviously, tracking this, I think it's part of the conversations that's going on about the Delta variant that we're tracking. I think everybody in every industry is tracking that, but our numbers are still looking very solid. If you go to the next report, this is the cargo report for the month of June. We're down about 18%. It's the same as we were talking last month. I know our last meeting was closer to this, but we're still looking for kind of that just in time when the automotive industry starts to come back and the chips are more readily available, and we'll see the increase then back into the cargo flights coming and going. But we are seeing robust amount of jet fuel sales, so I think we're also seeing cargo or smaller, or I should say diversified mix of cargo aircraft coming in that's leading towards higher fuel volume than what we were seeing in 2019, and you'll see that representative here in a minute. Federal inspection stations, so kind of the same numbers here. I'll collectively talk about this, page 2 and page 3 together, but total FIS operations are up about total 142% of the year. So we're still seeing a lot of traffic come and go. I think on the corporate side of what we talked about last month is still the same, people coming for vaccines. We're still seeing a dip in the cargo operations. Like I said, we're attributing that to the automotive and what's happening there. But generally speaking, we are seeing a rise. We have been working with SAT. As you've seen in the news, there's a lot of different information going on with them at the Mexican government level as far as who is in charge of what, who's taking over what. There's some military components now, and so we're still working within that program. We've been talking with Mexico Immigration and NAMI. We're still tracking, hopefully within the next 60 to 90 days, to have that component here as well. So ongoing conversations with SAT, but I will say they've been a little bit more challenging just because of the situation that's been happening in Mexico and change in the hierarchy and stuff, so we continue to work with them. The fuel flow report, this is what I talked about before. You can see the 2021 to 2019 volume change is about 58%, and that's not 2020 numbers, that's 2019 to 2021. And so you can see from where we're sitting, we're up about double what we were in 2019. So that's good news for fuel purchases and fuel sales. We've been seeing a lot of the Everett's, the IFLs, the Colettas of the world, which are taking high volume of fuel, which is good. The system nationwide, where we're suffering with fuel, we've been fortunate here in Laredo. We've been able to, I think, maintain our fuel levels and not turn people away, but a lot of airports are having issues, not so much with volume, there's a component to that, but truck drivers. There's not enough truck drivers to drive fuel around. So we've been working with Signature and Barker, but I think that's why we also see people taking on more fuel here, because nationwide, and even in Mexico, there's been some disruptions, mostly around the drivers themselves. And so I think the aircraft that we're seeing here are taking more fuel than they normally do. I like to say on the delinquent report, we're down to 1. Thank you, Manuel, for your diligence with that. Skyway Enterprises, I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that one in particular. Okay. But from where we were last year, I think over the last 4 months we've gone from about 90,000 down to 6,000, so it's a good story there. The construction, Alejandro?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, regarding the status of construction of the cargo apron phase 14, we continue working on it. We're on a schedule, and once in a while we get a rain somewhere and we get delay on pouring concrete, but we're making progress. So the project continue progressing as usual, as normal.
And I will say for general staff comments in regards to the construction, we were talking at City Hall the other day. It seems like, at least for now, the events the city has planned going into the fall are on schedule, regardless of COVID at the moment. And so we do have the airport 5K, which we're planning for October 9th, Saturday. And if all goes according to plan, next week on the 16th, and Ashley, I'll get you the invite so you can send it to the board members, we'll have an announcement with the PIO over at Signature Flight Support for that event itself. But it will be a 5K on the runway, but particularly Alejandro will continue his construction, get it done, so we can use that taxiway for the actual route that people will run. And it's being sponsored by multiple. IBC Bank is one of the sponsors, but also Aeromar, and they're sponsoring 2 round-trip tickets to a beach destination plus hotel for the first male and female place winners. So I think it'll be a good event. Hopefully nothing really changes within the COVID situation, and we're moving forward. But as the last conversations I had, we will be doing a press release next Thursday at 1 p.m. for the 5K.
Is that what they had scheduled previously, but they canceled out?
Yes,
This will
correct.
be their inaugural then?
This would be the inaugural, yes. And so we shifted sides, and my major concern initially, when Councilmember Bali was here, and he had really good ideas, but my biggest concern was having it at the main terminal, because we can't stop commercial flights from going. And so if the schedule works, it was fine, but if there was a delay, that's where I was always worried. So we shifted it to the other side of the airfield. But I think it will work well. It will be in Signature Flight Support, which is the old terminal, so there's plenty of space in there. Plus, it will actually give people more opportunity to have some static display of aircrafts, because just generally that side of the airfield is busier. And so they'll have to be, cargo aircraft, some corporate aircraft to take some pictures with. Maybe Tom wants to pull his aircraft out, Mr. Benavides, so people can take photos with it. But I think,
Leave me to, I
yeah,
can't.
right? But I think it will be a good event for everybody and people to get involved. So hopefully, unless it's all planned to go, unless COVID changes something. But I know we're tracking it. But as of now, we're planning next Thursday to have the press release. I don't have, I think besides that, what we talked about last month, thank you for the board's commitment on the terminal project that was approved at City Council. So we've met with RSNH after that. We had subsequent planning meetings. So all goes according to plan with that. It will be July of 2022 we'll be awarding that construction, but that moved forward at City Council. So. Anything else on your end? Okay.
So that ends all the staff reports. Any additional general comments or anything?
No, I think we covered it. I think Aeromar is going, they were at 5 weekly flights. That was their summer schedule. They'll be going to 4. That's starting, I think, this week. So it will be a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday schedule. So no longer the Thursday flight.
So you did, and you also, thought I heard you say earlier that United also has their scheduled flights as well.
Yeah, they're back to
normal.
3. Yep. Yeah, back to 3 flights. So that's good.
Just 3 a week.
3 a day for
A day.
United.
Yeah.
So United roughly does about 21 flights a week, and they do, and American does 27
Right.
for the total. So American's usually about 4 flights a day, and then United 3 flights, and then Aeromar is 4 times weekly now, and Legion is twice a week.
Good news. All right, so with that being said, I guess you could move over to the action items.
All right, I have a lot to read here, Mr. Chairman, so I apologize for that front, but I'll try to make it quick. Consider a recommendation to the mayor and city council to repeal ordinance number 910097, approved on May 6, 1991, and amendments approved by ordinance number 20000-172 on July 3rd, and I think we have a typo there. It's 200, July 3rd.
Oh, yeah.
So that would be July 3rd of 2021. Ashley, I assume?
No, it's 2000.
Is it 2000?
2000.
Okay, July 3rd of 2000. And ordinance number 2008-0-030 on February 25th, 2008, between the City of Laredo and Barker Aeromotive, Inc. for 2/3 of hangar 1309, consisting of approximately 20,078 square feet of hangar space and approximately 1,404 square feet of office space, and authorizing the city manager to execute a new lease agreement between the City of Laredo as lessor and Barker Aeromotive, Inc. as lessee. To lessee hangar number 1309 of approximately 33,482 square feet of hangar space and office space located at 4015 North Jarvis Avenue at the Laredo International Airport. The lease term shall be for 20 years, commencing shall commence on the first day of the month immediately following the execution of this lease agreement. The monthly rent shall be $10,318.33 and will be adjusted annually according to changes in the Consumer Price Index. Okay, so what does all that mean that I just said? So Barker Aeromotive is currently a 2-hangar facility. There's a 3rd hangar that was vacated by the National Guard. They're now over with Signature Flight Support. And so they came to us and asked if they could take over the 3rd hangar in that location. And so this, I think, is good. They've showed us a capital improvement plan. Barker is our fixed base operator, right? So they provide fuel, maintenance activities, community aircraft storage. And so this one will give them a 3rd hangar to put aircraft into, but also give them access to the public side. Right now, with the way that their hangar facilities are located, they're actually inside the fence line. And so it makes them a little difficult to work with visitors coming to them because they have to go to the gate, escort them in. And so this allows them to take that building on the on the west side of them, which encompasses the fence line, so they can move their operations around a little bit to create a lobby area for visitors and to come in, kind of like how Signature operates. They're actually encompassing the fence line. So I think it's good. I think it's showing investment into their facility and ultimately gives us more aircraft storage. Oh yeah, and the money that they're putting into the facility is $225,659, and that's their capital improvements into the building. Thank you.
So, anybody have any comments on that? Anybody like to make a motion? Running out of vacant space.
Make a motion.
Make a motion, George? Second?
I'll second.
Okay. So any comments?
No, this is a win-win situation.
This is just income running out of empty space, so,
Yep.
okay.
That helps.
That's good, right? So I guess that's good, so, all in favor? Aye?
All right.
Any opposition?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Second is consider a recommendation to Mayor and City Council to authorize the city manager to ratify the acceptance of the Federal Aviation Administration Airport Rescue Grant number 3-48-0136-096-2021 and amend the City of Laredo FY 2021 airport operations budget to appropriate the grant funds in the amount of $2,297,508. The purpose of this grant includes the reimbursement of the airport's operational expenses or debt services related to the Laredo International Airport. 100% federal funds, no local match is required. Federal grant funding is available under the Airport Operations Fund. Mr. Chairman, this is the American Rescue Grant that we received that was appropriated by Congress. These are the funds that will allow us, one, to use for either, like it says here, operational needs or also debt service. So as part of our intention is to use some of these funds for what we're doing with the terminal project.
And this, I mean, this, basically, you said he had the funding, but I thought the grant was 100%, so.
Oh, well, yeah, I think the way it's worded here is it's just basically saying that we're taking these funds in. So this isn't an expenditure at all, it's just that there's no, unlike in other years
You have
where
to
we
match
take
by
a grant,
10%.
yeah, we have to do 10%. It's basically saying this is just 100%, we don't have to give 10% for, out of our budget.
Okay, great, I mean,
Yeah, no, it's good.
okay, any comments? Who would like to make a motion on this?
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman. Marlon Gonzalez.
Is that Omar?
Yes.
Okay. Omar, who'd like to second?
Second.
Is that Judd? Sound like Judd, right?
Yes.
I thought you guys from my back, and I'm listening, I'm trying to sit there and see which little light blinks up, and I'm trying to sit there see the actual computer. It's a long distance, so I guess we're moving forward, so. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passes, so that's another win-win, so.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Number 3 is to consider a recommendation to Mayor and City Council to approve the award of construction contract to the lowest responsible bidder, Reen Construction, Inc., Mission, Texas, in the amount of $8,219,272.45 for the Laredo International Airport taxiways G1 and G2 construction with a construction contract time of 375 calendar days and authorizing the city manager to execute all related contract documents contingent upon receipt and approval of insurance and bond documents. After a notice to proceed is issued, estimated completion date for this project is scheduled for September 2022. Funding is available in the Airport Construction Fund Grant Number 95. This item is contingent for approval of Ordinance 2021-0-154, which is also going to City Council on Monday night, which is basically just a ratification of the grants we received to pay for these construction. Taxiways G1, G2, as we spoke before, they weren't designed wrong to begin with. They were designed properly back in the day, but the standards have changed, and this is to reduce some of the incursions, basically vehicles or aircraft being in incorrect spots on the airfield. Alejandro, I don't know if there's anything you want to add to the construction itself.
No, this is basically the same contractor, Ring Construction Company, the guys that they've been working for the longest time. So we're gonna have both projects at the same time, the apron phase 14 and the taxiway Gulf 1 and Gulf 2.
Hey, Elsie.
Elsie's not here.
Oh, okay. So whoever is running her,
We have Manuel here.
whatever,
Yeah, Manuel's here.
whatever is running behind.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gilpin, what was that?
Running behind with a paper, I guess.
Whatever the display is running behind for
Oh, okay.
us that are watching from.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
All right, many comments, I'm just still trying to absorb this, but, it doesn't look like there's any outflow, it's just allowing, changes for him to go ahead and move forward with the project, and the city manager to allow him to go ahead and move forward within a 375-day timeframe, right?
Yes, the city council is gonna award the next city council of August the 16th, I believe. Yes. And then, once the city council award the contract, we still need to get the bonds and the insurance and sign the contract. And that takes about 4 to 6 weeks. And then we'll have a pre-construction meeting and we'll issue the notice to proceed. So give and take, the construction will start in about 2 months. So usually that's what it takes.
Right.
But I'm also talking to the contractor to make sure that we have enough personnel, enough labor. But right nowadays, we have some issues, especially all the construction companies are having some issues with personnel. And that's what we need to discuss at the schedule and all things, but everything is fine.
I agree.
It will be.
Any comments on this? Anybody like to make a motion?
I move.
George? And a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Oh,
I've got Dr. Rai here, so.
this was explained.
All right, so, and just for, the money has already been budgeted for this, right? So there's no. impact
Yeah,
on
it's
it.
100% funded by the FAA. So the last section there is they're basically going back and ratifying that. So in the final readings for this city council on Monday night is the final reading for the acceptance of the funds, which final readings become consent agenda, which was where this will fall. So yes, the money is 100% funded by the FAA.
Sounds good, if I can move forward. So, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposition? Motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Number 4, to consider a recommendation to mayor and city council to authorize the city manager to execute an amendment to lease agreement between the city of Laredo as lessor and SBA Properties LLC as lessee, approved by ordinance 2005-0-033 dated May 2nd, 2005, to add an additional 3 renewal terms to 5 years each. The additional renewal term shall commence on September 1st, 2027, and the last renewal term shall end on August 31st, 2042. All other terms and conditions remain unchanged and in effect. This is a location over on Pappas Street. It is a cell phone tower, so it's not an actual business, it's a tower. And roughly it's about, I pulled the number, I know it's in the backpack, about $31,000 a year for rent to the airport. The extension on $31,256.36. And in particular with this tenant, the extensions don't take them over a 40-year term. It takes them to a 40-year term, which is their standard for a land lease, not to exceed.
This is his agenda. Any comments or any Anybody like to make a go ahead?
FBA properties, FBA stands for,
I don't actually know, is it in there what SBA, is there, is that an acronym for something, or is it just the company's name?
No, that's the com-
I think it's just a company.
It's just the company's name, so I don't,
I can look into
if it is an acronym, we can, if it's an acronym,
it's just a question.
Yeah.
I mean, Southwestern Bell.
yeah. I haven't seen it spelled out, so I think it's just their name, but,
So
So
it's a,
basically, it's a phone tower.
yes, it's a cell phone
it's
tower.
a communication,
Right, it is built today, it's just, they're just trying to extend their lease on it.
the area around it.
Right.
Okay. Okay, and anybody would like to make a motion on this?
I make a motion.
Go back to George again. George, man, he's popular today.
Well, it's no brainer.
Second.
Expedite.
Who was that?
Hector, it's me, Hector.
Hector made it sound all right, Hector. Stepping up to the plate, like that. All right. Yeah, all in favor? Say aye.
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 Any opposition? Motion passes.
Mr. Chairman, just for housekeeping, I wanted to add, nothing has changed yet on the digital for next month. It should all be back to in-person, but considering what's happening with the Delta variant, I know it's the governor's call. And so if the governor comes back and says that everything will be in person again, which is, he basically would have to amend the order he has currently. His order gave us this month, but as of right now, it's next month, everything's back in person, so. But if that changes, Ashley will let everyone know, I'll let Ashley know, and then we can, but as of now, next month, we'll be back in person.
Okay, so, and just for clarity, because just make sure it's, if it is back in person, you can't do virtual, you have to be on, otherwise it'll count as an absence.
Unfortunately, yes. It's, I guess that is the governor's, basically, the way the city attorney and city secretary has explained to me is it's operated the same as city council. So there was some latitude the governor gave, but all boards and city council follow, forget the acronym for them, but the governor basically sets the order for that. And so unfortunately, we would not be allowed to do anything virtual or call in.
Thank you. With that being said, any members have any requests that they'd like to request for the following meeting, or any information they'd like to provide?
No?
Sorry, silence, this is a quick meeting, and not even 30 minutes, so.
Maybe Elsie shouldn't come to the other one?
Elsie, we have to tell her why.
Well, it's a quick meeting because everything is a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
I mean, basically, it's
We had a,
funds coming in.
Majority is the income, there's very little expenses on it.
Who say aye and opposed?
We got the
That's what it stands for.
SBA communication, smarter balanced assessment.
Yeah.
Model balance assessment.
There you go.
Good deal. So we got the answer.
Got the answer.
Timeframe, so.
Thank you, Chief.
Google it.
With that being said, who'd like to make a motion to adjourn?
I will.
And second?
I'll second.
Dr. Valle.
We definitely approve your motion, sir.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
So,
Aye.
meeting has been adjourned at
32 minutes.
12:32.
28, we started at 12:04.
Yeah, 12:04.
So 28 minutes.